Hey everybody, it's Ben, and today I'm going to show you how to install R and RStudio on your Windows computer. So let's start by opening up a browser. And you can use any search engine you prefer, or if you want to, you can type in the address bar at the top. I'm just going to use Google because it's convenient, and I'm going to search for CRAN R project. And we're going to want this link right here at the top. So this takes you to the R homepage. Here you can download R for various operating systems such as Linux, Mac OS, or Windows. Since this is a video for Windows, we're going to click on the Download R for Windows button right here. And it takes us to the download files for R for Windows. This does give you different options if you just want base R or if you need older versions of R or R tools. For the purposes of this class, we're only going to use the base R. So we can click here. And it takes us to the actual download page. This also has different FAQs and other things you may be interested in looking at. But to actually download R, we click on the Download R 4.1.1 for Windows link right here. This will also be where you go to update R if a new version comes out, so this version number is only relevant currently for this time period. To download R, we just click on the link right here and open up a window that allows us to save the file. Your browser may ask you where you want to save it, like mine does, or it may just automatically save it to your downloads folder. You'll just have to double check what your system does. I am going to save it to my downloads too. Hit save, and we have it downloading. Okay, so once R is finishing downloading here, it should be done about now. We can minimize our browser, and then we'll need to open up the File Explorer. And you can do this by hitting the Windows E key or going down here and clicking on your folders. And then navigate to whichever folder you save the executable file in. So in my case, I saved it under the downloads. Here it is. And then we're going to right click and run as administrator. My screen's going to black out because it's asking for me to give it permission. And then you should have the R installer pop up. So here you just select the language that you prefer for the installer to use, then hit OK. We then have the general license pop up. If you're interested, go ahead and give this a read and just hit next. In this window, it's going to ask you where you want to install R. It's probably safe to just keep it as the default option here, which is your program files folder. But if you are interested in installing it somewhere else, you can click the browse button here and then select what folder you want to install it in. For our purposes though, I'm just going to leave it as the default and then hit next. So this next window asks you which files you want to install. You have your core files, your 32-bit, 64-bit, and then message translations. If you know what version of Windows your system is running, if it's 32-bit or 64-bit, you only need to install whichever one your operating system has. For example, I know my Windows distribution is 64-bit, so if I wanted to, I could neglect to install the 32-bit and just install the 64. If you don't know, it doesn't hurt to leave everything checked and just install everything. So in this case, we're just going to do that. The next one then asks you if you want to customize startup options. It's best to just leave this at no for now. And then if you want to create a start menu folder, you can do that here. Or if you want to select and put it into a different folder, you can do that as well. Or don't even create a start menu folder down here. I'm just going to hit next to leave it as the default option. And here you can add a desktop shortcut or a quick launch shortcut if you want. To demonstrate what that is, I'll just add a desktop shortcut here and then hit next. And we're installing R. Now while that's installing, we can go open up our browser again and get RStudio started. So let's go back to a search engine. And we can search for RStudio. And this is the website we're looking for, rstudio.com. If you want to go directly to the download links, you can click right here to download RStudio. and this takes you to the download page. So at the top we see various versions of RStudio that they offer. We want to focus on the RStudio desktop version, which is the free one right here. These other ones are more for commercial uses or if you want to start up an RStudio server or something. But for now, just click the download button right here. And it'll take us to the download options. So the RStudio website will often detect what operating system you're using. I know it does it for Windows. I'm not sure if it does it for Mac or not. But if so, you can double check here to see if it will give you the correct option. And you can click the download button here. So for example, it sees I'm running Windows and offers me the Windows option. However, if this doesn't pop up, you can go down to the installers down here and then select the distribution that you're using. So we have Windows, Mac, and then different versions of Linux down here. So since we're using Windows, I'm going to download the executable right here. I'll click there. It's going to once again ask us to save the file and then where we want to save it. So I'm going to save it in the downloads folder again. Let's check to see if R has finished. And it has. So once we're finished installing R, you just click the finish button and it will give us our two icons, desktop icons. So once we see that RStudio is finished installing, all we do is bring up our File Explorer again and navigate to our Downloads folder or wherever you decided to save the file. So I have it right here. And then we just rinse and repeat. So I'm going to right click, run as administrator. My screen's going to black out asking for permission. Hit yes. And we see the installation window pop up. So on this first window, we just click next. And once again, it's going to ask us where we're going to install it. I would install RStudio in a similar place that you installed R just for convenience sake. So in this case, since I left R as a default path with the program files, I'm going to do the same for RStudio. But if you want to navigate, you can once again click Browse and select the folder you want to install it in. So once you've decided on your destination folder, just click the Next button. And then it's going to once again ask you if you want to add a Start menu folder. So when you've decided if you wanted to add a Start menu folder, just click the Install button. And we see that RStudio is now installing. Okay, once RStudio is finished, you just click the Finish button down here. And we should be able to find it in our Start menu. So if I go to my Applications and then scroll down to R, we see that we have a new folder for R and we have a folder for RStudio now. So if you want to, you can pin this to your taskbar and put down there at the bottom. Or you can drag and drop it onto your desktop to create a link there. Okay, when you're ready to start RStudio, just double click on the icon or navigate to it from your Start menu. And here on the left-hand side is the console will interact with R. This is where you pass code to or type in functions and such to get output. In the top right, we have the environment, and this is where we can see if we have any saved objects and what we name them and what they are. And then below that, we have windows for our help files. So we have files for R resources in RStudio, a list of packages and if they're loaded or not, any plots that we generated from R, and access to different files on our system. When you're ready to kind of get going, you can go up here to the little plus sign by this white sheet of paper. If you click the arrow here, you can open up an R script. And here is basically a text file you can start typing in your code when you're ready. Now, if you're like me and you're not a fan of bright themes, you can go up to the Tools menu here and then select Global Options and then go down to Appearance. And then under Editor Theme, you can select a different theme for RStudio to have. And there you go. Hopefully you have things up and running now. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or Phil, or leave a comment below and I can get back to help you. Thanks, and I'll see you around.